So are journalists villains, or they are bridge builders? What is your take? What is a journalist? What is radio after all? I'm here with Mr. DJ Wildfire, who is a radio presenter and producer. What is radio to you?
Radio is a medium or platform of engaging.
Okay, it's medium platform for engaging. So,
hello?
Yeah, it's a medium or platform.
Yes.
For engaging.
Yes.
All right. So, are you, when you look out in Africa and you are asked to just talk about radio, which radio station stands out as the ideal radio station in the continent?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I'm saying, which radio station would stand out to you as the ideal radio station?
For me, at the moment, would be the 1873, because it sort of redefines or redesigns what radio ought to be in terms of content or in terms of production. It doesn't go with the old traditional way that I was used to when I first joined. So it's actually gives you a new look into what radio ought and has to be at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So if we look at the digital age, do you see radio, the face of radio, the personality of radio changing?
In the digital age, it definitely is changing. I mean, you look at what we call mainstream radio. It's also jumping onto the digital platform or onto the digital edge, because they're also realizing that the face of radio is changing from the old way we've been used in terms of doing radio, and that radio is taking a new direction, given that times are changing, technology is changing also.
Okay. So if I were to talk about radio production in the digital age, what do you think should be the focus?
The main focus at the moment would be content before anything else.
So one is content.
Yeah, it will be content. Yes.
All
content
right.
is material. Sorry?
All right, go ahead.
Content would be the material that you are bringing onto the show. For example, topics or conversations that you want to touch and tackle upon at that particular day and time.
All right. So that's you are saying content.
Yes.
And the people have not changed. And I got Mr. Lennon Ruiz here. How are you, sir?
Mr. Mawere, are you well?
I'm well. I got Wildfire here. We are talking about a course on radio production. We have a partnership with training institutes to offer virtual courses online on radio production. If you were just a customer, when someone says radio production in this digital age, what would come to mind first?
Radio production in the digital age, for me, it would speak to the economy that we develop and making a living out of what we know on digital platforms, making use of the wealth and knowledge that we have on digital platforms, I would
say. Okay. What is the challenge of radio in this digital age? And when somebody says radio, what comes to mind? Radio itself.
Well, from a legal point of view, I would say broadcasting intellectual property intelligence about.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, no, I can hear you now.
Yes, hello, yes, I'm here. If we talk of radio production in this age, I would definitely think of broadcasting and knowledge and content protection in the digital spaces.
Okay. So if you were a producer or a society member, and you were asked, who are the people you look up to in terms of radio today as role models? Do you have any you see, whether by country or across the continent?
Well, in South Africa, the first person who comes to my mind is Bra Aubrey. He's a very candid, knowledgeable, and a prominent broadcaster in South Africa.
So that's Aubrey, number one.
But he does so with
Wildfire, do you know the Aubrey that he's talking about?
Hello?
Do you know Aubrey, the one?
Hello, Mr.
Do you know Aubrey, the one he's talking about?
No, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, I don't know him. Yeah, Aubrey Masango. Aubrey Masango, no. Which station is it with? I think it's YFM on one of the platforms. It's a digital radio station, and it broadcasts both on the internet and the normal web. Oh, okay. No, I'm not familiar with that name. Okay, yeah.
So who should be in broadcasting now? It means we need. I think, Aubrey Masango Show 702. Is that him?
Yes.
So Wildfire, you see, you already have somebody there who you need to keep close to. To follow.
I'm actually checking.
Yeah, to follow him. He's also on Twitter. It's called the Aubrey Masango Show.
Okay. All right. I found him on Twitter, yeah.
You found him on Twitter, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So just let him know that we are looking to build a conversation around radio standards in Africa with a view to identifying, profiling, showcasing, and celebrating the best in the craft. And
Mr. Mawere, I would want to maybe also say, I think radio also depends on the intention behind a radio show or a radio station.
Okay.
Some broadcasters just broadcast for the sake of entertainment. Some have got more important activist intentions behind their broadcast.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important for us to say what is the intention of a radio show or a radio station? Is it to bring transformation in our communities, or is it just for the sake of entertaining people, just for entertainment? So I would want to think maybe the point that the angle where you're coming from speaks so much to radio for transformation. Is that so? I could be wrong.
No, it's just the broadcasting, somebody waking up and just putting whatever they put to the public domain. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whatever it is that you put it, you choose to put. I don't know whether that makes sense. That like now, Lennon, you are broadcasting. You were calling me about last night's show. That you were pissed off.
Well, you always say we have every right to however we want.
Yeah.
And it's a fundamental right that we must exercise. So it's not enshrined anyway. It's our nature to feel however we want about any situation. I felt strongly that it is not right to speak to somebody who is obviously mentally unstable, who ended up exposing other people's names on sensitive matters that have to do with their health status. And that was the point from where I was.
What if Mukoma Masimba was actually saying something?
Well,
that because you see, I'm trying to understand what he is saying and why he gave us the numbers to call certain people.
Well, you have every right to do that, but I do not.
What about if Mkoma Masimba was saying something that we didn't hear?
I respectfully think that you have no right to call out people's name on public platforms.
What about what if he actually had spoken to them?
Well, that should be publicly, spoken about.
Yeah, so we don't know. So if we put Mkoma, so yesterday, what is it that you wanted to tell me to cut him off?
Well, Mr. Mawere should have at least reported to the person on the phone, told her that she's live on a public platform. Number two, I do not think it is right to speak about other people's possible health status without their consent, unless if you talk with them prior to the show. That was the only point I was making. By the way, that man does not have mental capacity. If he goes to a court of law, he can plead mental incapacity because he's visually and obviously is not mentally stable. So that was the angle from which I was coming from.
Okay.
We will end up destroying other people's lives by broadcasting certain things that I don't think.
So you are saying that there must be standards of content outlets.
There must be standards in ethics.
So who should be the standard bearer and the judge of content?
So for me, any reasonable person, it should be known that a mentally unstable person cannot be brought on a public platform to speak on issues sensitive such as HIV status and other people's privacy. You cannot invade other people's privacy, especially on the public platform. So that was what I was trying to say. That
okay. And then maybe on Wildfire, do you hear what Lennon is saying?
Yes, I get where he's coming from. I think that is why in South Africa we've got the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. So those monitor what goes on air, whether the station presenters or hosts adhere to the standards that have been laid down by the Broadcasting Authority in that given country.
So if we were to you listen to the show Wildfire yesterday.
Yes, yeah, there is parts of the show that I listened to.
Did you find anything in it offensive, or it was actually enlightening and was a different form of broadcasting?
Okay, for me, it was a different form of broadcasting, and I found it. Was it good or bad? I found it intriguing. Okay, so there's parts of the shows that I found entertaining, and parts of the shows that I would have said that left me wondering and saying, "Oh, okay, all right." It just left it like that. But look, overall, I think it was a bit informing, and there is parts of the shows that I would not have agreed on.
So if you're looking at the social media, Facebook, in terms of standards, do we agree that there are no standards? Anyone can
there
just...
are standards. No, I would say there are standards, Mr.
What are the standards? And do we have a shared understanding of the standards? Yeah.
There should be a certain standard that appeals to your conscience to say, is it right for me to speak of somebody's HIV status?
No, I'm not there yet. I'm just saying, do we have a standards body that is in place where we can say what Lennon says must be the order of the day? Or you are expressing a personal opinion and you are lobbying or negotiating for your opinion to be the opinion?
Well, obviously, I'm expressing a personal opinion because, Mr. Mawere, the challenge with social media broadcasting is that it is difficult to regulate.
That's right. So, no, it's difficult. There are no standards because I can just go and say, because I'm Lennon, why did you do this? Why did you do that? But if there is no standard or there is no expectation, my voice will be a lonely voice in a crowd of people who don't care, who are enjoying the content.
So are you in support of infringing or violating other people's rights?
I'm in support of order and structure that Lennon would have called me to say, Mauro, what I saw there, why don't we create our own council of standards so that we begin to test whether this show is good or bad? You asked the Wildfire whether it was good or bad. We must be able to arrive at that conclusion that this is a good show.
Well, I tried to call you a few times, Mr. Mawere.
No, that's why I'm calling you back, because I was talking at the back of my mind when I was talking with Wildfire in terms of this course that is trying to promote as part of the literacy program on radio production, that perhaps we need to be alive to the changing nature of broadcasting, that actually video that was not radio before is now actually radio and video together. So the media has been transformed.
No, Mr. Mawere, I would want to challenge you maybe to
there is a movie that was put together in South Africa called Ingeba.
Yeah.
About the wood. It's a movie that claims to depict the Xhosa culture of circumcision and the ritual. And we had a lot of people making noise about it in South Africa. Because they were saying you cannot violate our rights, our cultural rights, in the name of movie production.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, in the end, that movie did it screen?
It did, but with reservation from the court. So we are simply trying to say you cannot violate other people's rights because you want to express yourself, you want to exercise your own rights.
No, I'm saying I'm saying in the animal kingdom there are no rights. Are you saying there are rights? There is standards of barking or making noise as an animal.
Of course, we are a different kind of animal kingdom, one that should appeal to reason and morality.
No, but you are saying that where there are no rules, what should I do?
Conscience should guide you.
Yeah?
Conscience should guide you.
Or conscience, and that's discretionary, is that correct?
Yes, I use the reasonable man test.
Yeah. Okay, so you are the reasonable one.
No, well, if you want to say so.
No, I'm saying you must then say, let's have the standards as laid out by you.
Well, no, Mr. Mawere. You've got different standards that you are. So different restrictions. So my opinion is that that should not hold you back from doing that which is right. I do not think it is right in our condition right now. You allow a mentally disabled person or a mentally unstable person to speak on such a platform. I don't think it's right.
And Wildfire, do you understand what he's saying?
Okay, there's parts I agree with him, and then there's parts that I don't. If for example, if somebody comes and says, I'm mentally challenged, correct, I wouldn't expect that person to have a say on issues, right? But then, in terms of broadcasting or in terms of what kind of content goes in, that's a debatable conversation that we can have and say, okay, who has to determine the content and what should be the structure and standard of that conversation?
Yeah, so we are saying that let's start from the premise that we actually don't have standards. And okay.
Yes, Lennon. If
you take a mentally unstable person to a form of court of law for what he said on that broadcast yesterday, is excuse to say I'm not mentally in a good position to properly conduct myself. So that's liable for this.
Hello.
Hello. I lost you there, Lennon.
Well, I was saying that many has not been talked about.
No, first, did you hear what Lennon is saying? That according to his certification, Masimba has lost the marble.
but then, are we in a position though to say he has lost the marble?
No, according to the judge called Lennon, the man is certified to be HIV positive. He's certified to have lost his marble. And what Masimba is saying, I'm producing a movie of how gullible people are. If I say phone so and so to confirm my HIV status and he confirms, then people believe it's true. Just because I've choreographed a movie. Then even Lennon, a learned person, is so gullible enough to believe that what I say is the truth. That's what I heard him to be saying. That Mr. Mawere, when I confronted you and said, Mawere, you externalized money as a fact. To me, it was a fact because it was reported in the papers. But when I dug deeper, I discovered, no, it wasn't a fact. And it's ever since I've been arguing with people that it's not a fact, dig deeper. But people generally are not interested in digging deeper. When I say I work for Zimbabwe, I am Zimbabwean, people don't dig deeper to discover that Zimbabwe is not a person. I can't work for a non-entity. That's what he was saying. Huh? And then Lennon, a learned person, is actually falling into the trap. Yesterday, he was in the trap. The guy was just saying, I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm doing. Mawere, come. I've come back to confirm what you told me in the first place when I met you. That not everything that is on paper is true. Yet there are people who believe if I show them that I got pills and they're antiretrovirals, they don't even know it's aspirin. But they'll believe me and conclude that.
So, yes, Lennon. I'll send you this to your WhatsApp right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Here is a newspaper called Herald Sun.
Yeah.
Claims to be a leader in community news. So it says everybody appearing at Sunshine's Magistrate Court, local court, on Wednesday, June 17th. And then there is a list of people who were supposed to appear in court and allegations of crimes that they were facing. And the name of the person you were interviewing is appearing on that for an alleged crime. And you see that when he appeared in court, he pleaded mental insanity. So when I was speaking to Mr. Mawere, it's just that I was commenting. I was saying, this person that you are talking about is not as innocent as what you are claiming, because there is somebody who is facing criminal allegations or criminal charges in Australia for things that he has done. And there is a record that I have. Can I send you the link to the story?
Oh no, yeah, because yesterday I didn't understand it. I didn't have the background.
So now that's why I was trying to call you to say, do not be a conduit to feathering something that if you are not aware of the background, because there is a man who is facing criminal charges in Australia for things that he has done, and because he wants to escape criminal liability, he then needed mental incapacity and mental instability. And I have a record of it which can be seen and traced.
Okay, so maybe you can tell us. You can tell us the what is the allegation? What is the status of the matter?
Mr. Mawere, can you check your WhatsApp right now? I've sent you this.
I'm looking. There's nothing yet.
Check your WhatsApp.
No, that's what
Have you sent to me as well?
Can you?
Yeah, no, I've just seen it now. Yeah, no, I saw that one yesterday. It just shows the list of the cases. No, I'm saying is there's a name there, but where is the actual link to the write-up of what the merits are? What are the allegations? I can't. You are not loud enough. I don't know what's happening to your voice.
He says he's not in a position to speak about the allegations.
Ah, okay. So, but you know of the allegations.
Yes, and they are on record from if we check the role of matters in that magistrate court in Australia, because courts in Australia usually make everything public for accountability and transparency. So I was trying to indicate to you to say, Mr. Mawere, beyond the story that you are broadcasting, there is another story that we need to be aware of. And the nature of the man that you are interviewing is obviously unfit mentally. He has no capacity to really conduct himself.
What if he is playing a game, even with the courts, that I'm mental when he knows what the consequences of pleading mental incompetence is?
So do you think it is right for your platform to be used?
This is the reality. This is the reality that we are saying. We're not talking about it that what is a person can use the social media, but people can judge for themselves. Like you are judging to say, okay, last night you raped somebody. Now you are on Mawere's platform. What should Mawere do? Should he stop, be the judge, be the magistrate? And if somebody has not been convicted in a court of law, should the presumption of innocence be waived to allow for a new reality of caution and the kind of restraint that you want me to exercise? Should I even inquire into the matters that are before a competent court?
Well, I'm simply saying Mawere's platform should not be used to further certain agendas which are not morally right.
But what should the platform be used there? Because who is going to judge which are the standards when we have not agreed to have the standards? That's what Wildfire, that's what provoked me to talk to you about radio production, to say, can't we sit back, not look at Masimba as the only trophy to talk about, but how many of the things that are in the social media, in the general media, private and public, are falsehoods that are being peddled daily by people with their own agendas.
Well, Mr. Mawere, you would know and remember that fake news is unethical and uninvestigated live program on different platforms. Are not as ethical as we want. So the issue of standards that you raise is very important. That there should be a certain standard that we set when it comes to internet broadcasting. And I really respect and I agree with the point that you make about certain minimal standards that should be complied with.
Yeah, that's what I was saying is before we talk about standards, shouldn't we assemble the group of people talking about this show as one example of why standards are necessary?
No, that I agree. I think when we started the conversation before we even went live, we were talking about what is a standard of a radio, you know, and as a collective or as followers or listeners of a radio station, can we then create a consortium of people that will sit down and say, okay, these are the standards that will abide by as the 1873?
And if such a platform is to be put together, what issues would you expect it to deal with? As in examples of standards that you would want such a platform to set up.
Like what you
that's
okay, go ahead.
Like what you just, I think, like what you just did, Lennon, of saying, look, we need to be ethical, and obviously, one's conscience comes into play and say, would I want to engage in this conversation? If not, what is it that I want to? So it's something that can be negotiated, by a group, let's say, of 10, who are the people to sort of come with standards and say, okay, these are our standards.
So I think of, there are certain media platforms that I know in Zimbabwe that I would never tolerate, because I know they are peddlers or fake.
For it, or it was an open discussion that anything could go?
No, it was an open discussion. Yeah.
So everything was you could just tackle any subject as you go with the show.
That's right.
So Lennon is saying, let's have structure on shows.
No, I'm
so
saying
that we stick to those.
If we have a structure, then it wouldn't have been the show yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be having this conversation.
No, we wouldn't have the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the only thing you can look at is is a person comes and says, "Look, I want to have a go at something. I was depressed, but now I've come out of depression." Then during the course of that conversation, he introduces another aspect, and we all learn from that, but we can't anticipate. The moment we anticipate, then we must be part of that plot. What if Mkoma Masimba is doing what he's doing with a clear conscience of what he wants to achieve?
Well, which we might not.
So for me, Mr. Mawere, the question would be, why did you get angry? You were visibly angry, and your voice sounded also angry when one of the listeners made a comment to the effect that you are a criminal who stole and externalize money from Zimbabwe and peddling unsubstantiated claims on your platform.
No, it's actually I was saying let's have that discussion. It was not anger. I was saying it's important that you have raised it.
Anger when you call somebody a fool and stupid.
No, but if somebody has no facts and you are saying, let's say
that you two need to verify your facts before you go on live. Because
no, I can't verify something I don't know. I couldn't even verify this guy because I didn't know he was going to call. He was going to type there. So I can only deal with what I know. Yeah.
That is the problem with open discussions, because my relative's name was mentioned. It was mentioned, and somebody who is mentally unstable visibly made a comment and a statement that my relative is HIV positive. It's affecting her children, it's affecting her marriage, that she has been having sex with Masimba, and all that. I do not think, Mr. Mawere, it is right that you be a conduit for such.
No, I'm not a conduit, but each man stands for himself.
But no, I don't think it's right, to be honest.
Yeah.
There is a person, there is a married woman who has got kids, who has relatives, somebody that we respect. Broadcast on your platform to more than 300 people that she has been having sex with Masimba and she's HIV positive. What do you think that person feel? I mean, how do you think that person will feel, and their family and the husband?
No, I'm saying is the person who is saying that is visible, and the person who is affected is visible to you. Then we put Masimba to task to say, when you were saying that, because you are the author and accountable for what you are saying, is there no cause for us to build on that, not just for the radio, but beyond the radio platform, as a society, as a community, to begin?
Well, I'm sure you know that the law of defamation doesn't sue Masimba only. It extends the suit to the platform that
which is fine, but sue me for something I constructively did and intended to do. All we are saying is that as a community, yeah,
you used your platform to further.
I didn't.
Unsubstantiated news.
No, but Wildfire is raising a fundamental point that a highway must be sued for an accident.
No, it wasn't an accident.
No, I'm saying is you are saying that because you have carried a car that then ends up causing an accident on the highway, the highway must bear responsibility for the accident.
Okay, so let's see if this example would work, Lennon. You remember the DJ Fresh issue? And the reason why he left, yes, when he left, did he leave or he was fired from Metro FM?
He unceremonially left because it was because they were afraid that he was going to be fired.
Yeah, okay. So there is a caller that calls onto the show, and the caller asked us a very stupid question. And Fresh used what the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa deemed as inappropriate, yes. And for that, he was on the verge of being fired. Then he decided to resign from the station. But then also, the station itself was to be taken to task by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission. That is what you are saying in this case. That the platform also can be liable
To criminal liability.
Yeah. Is that what you're saying here?
Criminal liability. Yes, that is what I'm saying. That, your platform is an extension of voices to so many people. And you have to be responsible for what happens on that platform.
Okay.
Where the platform is being used to tell or try.
So it's now my platform, it's my highway, my country. So if you come into my country and you commit an offense, then I must bear responsibility for the offense.
Okay, that's an interesting one there. I don't think you should be liable for the offense that's committed outside your scope or your knowledge. Hello?
Not according to Lennon. Lennon is saying that if you are president of a country and
I am right now.
okay, no, that's fine. So Lennon, that's what we want for you to think about building a community where we can self-regulate.
Yeah, it also made the system aware I think important that there are very serious allegations that this man is facing. He's playing games, and I have got good proof that is on formal court platforms to the allegations that he's facing. It's not I don't think he's facing real mental illness. He's just looking for an excuse from the crimes that he committed.
Okay. So I think we'll put it to him that what is the background to this and what are these allegations? Because yesterday you did send me, but I wasn't sure whether we should raise something that is sub judice or whether we should await the outcome of whatever process that are underway.
Yeah, of course, we do not have authoritative say on matters that are before the court of law.
Yeah.
But I just want you to look at the website that I sent you.
You didn't send. You sent me a screenshot.
Okay, let me send the link to.
Yeah, but that's why I was saying I don't have the link.
Okay, now thank you.
Oh no, thanks. Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So you see,
Yes,
our problem is that the people who want standards, they don't want to do anything to enforce them.
So I think this is where I said, let's then create this committee of standards and say, okay,
if we are a broadcasting house, what are our broadcasting standards? And
No,
how do we set
that
these standards?
that becomes tribal. But if we are saying we have a concern about general standards, then we can begin to build a conversation around general, not around the radio station.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if we are saying we have courses that we have to offer on radio, on radio itself, presentation or production, then let's look at it beyond one platform. That there is a problem that needs fixing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that is clear.
Yeah. So that's where we would need to go beyond. Yeah.
Okay. No, thank you for,
thank
for
you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. All right, cheers.
Yes.